Welcome, I'm David Geiger. At the local level, cities and farmers are working together to have incentives for water quality. Cedar Rapids has reached an agreement with the Iowa Department of Natural Resources, allowing an investment in conservation practices for farmers in nearby watersheds. The Sand County Foundation, a national agriculture conservation nonprofit, worked closely with municipalities and the Iowa DNR to develop a model agreement, getting a roadmap to reduce erosion and excess nutrient runoff to help out water treatment plants. Bartlett Durand with Sand County Foundation says the goal is to create memorandums of understanding. Around 100 communities are required to voluntarily reduce nitrogen levels by 66% and phosphorus levels by 75% through the Iowa Nutrient Reduction Strategy. There is more pressure on municipalities to reduce nitrogen and phosphorus, and the tech element is expensive and part of a greater process.
Both point source, the plants, where the cities, and non-point source, which typically we talk about agriculture, all need to work together to reduce the nutrients flowing out of Iowa into the Mississippi River and the local streams and rivers. But there's not this mechanism to connect the two. And so what this memorandum of understanding does is it creates that mechanism.
Cedar Rapids is Iowa's second community to make a deal with the countryside. Durand says communities like Cedar Rapids could see a $10 match in public and private grants for every $1 they invest in conservation practices. This will allow the city to invest in cover crops on farms in the Cedar River and Middle Iowa watersheds to improve water quality and reduce flooding risks. He believes Iowa's success is due to a voluntary approach where Iowans are stepping up and cities are understanding the complexity of farming.
This commonality of water and needing clean water for all of us is an easy way to really start partnering up tightly, regardless of social background, of politics, of anything else, city, urban you want to talk about. Country mouse and city mouse both need clean water. And this is one that really starts that process in a very cooperative way.
Seeing some green to start the week, our analyst John Heinberg has more.
Well, we're watching that South American weather, and believe it or not, we got a weather market that's brewing probably in that corn market more than just a little bit than the beans in this stage. That South American forecasts are staying on the drier side, and that's going to affect that corn crop. Maybe more in the planting of that second crop, which is their exportable corn, or that safrinha corn there in Brazil. So the market's seeing a little bit more optimism in that regard in terms of supplies that might be available in the summer. Beans, on the other hand, we touched that $12 barrier this morning. Again, the technical buying stays strong. We saw January poke at the 12 even. Maybe we've backed off on some producer selling here at this stage. Cattle market got really good strength today. We're pushing strong triple-digit gains across the board. That's coming off that cattle on feed report, pretty much in line with expectations, and the market had a hard sell-off going into that. So maybe we're just squaring ourselves back up to where we should be in terms of price value versus the number of head out there. Most encouraging thing was that placement number down at 89% of last year. That's given some support in that feeder cattle market. Hog market actually makes me a little bit nervous, but we got a heck of a technical move. Unlike cattle, where the fundamentals are a little bit more on the friendly side, the hog side, the fundamentals, at least in terms of supply and production and carcass value or retail value, they're on the weaker side of the equation, as well as lean hog index continues to trend down. That kind of weighs on that market overall.
That's all I have for the Agribusiness Report today. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you again next time.